Hey, HR friends, welcome back. We're in the 5-1 emotional 6.5 day sequence. We're going to talk about day three. Day three is right here in this white rectangle. Now, if this is your first forecast with us, we highly recommend you go up and watch the 5-1 emotional overview before you watch this abbreviated forecast, as it will help you understand how to read these graphs and how to keep up with the forecast we're about to do. So day three is definitely going to be a little bit easier than day one and day two. Why? So we can see that in day one and two, we had a emotional dual that turned into emotional single polarity flip that runs into day three and it finally ends. And the same thing here. We had a dual mental polarity flip that started in day one, went into day two, and will end in day three. So during the course of day three, the emotional polarity flip will finally end, and so will the mental polarity flip. Now, please understand that these polarity flips cause agitation. They cause distress in our life. And even though it's going to ease off here, think of it like working out. You go to the gym, you work out hard, and you get sore a day or two later. So we're not in the clear here. We're still got a bunch of stress that we got to resolve, and we still got to work through it. The good news is here. At least it's going to turn the switch off for a little while as far as how much we're being agitated. So you can see by the end of day three, combined graph is only reaching forward. It's not above it anymore. In day one, two, and half of day three, we were above that level four. Now we're going to get below that level four, and we're going to stay there pretty much for the rest of the sequence until at least the last 12 hours. All right. So that's good news. The hardest part is over, but we still have to work through some of that stress we created during this period where it was elevated. Okay. All right. So let's get down here and let's talk about testing sequence. So what's the testing structure look like for day three? You can see that left upper quadrant pretty much stays the same as it ended in day two. Right upper quadrant is actually going to come down a little bit compared to what it was being tested in day two. The left lower quadrant is more of the same. This is what we had in day two is going to continue into day three, and the same thing in the left lower quadrant. So this is pretty balanced here. Pretty much all of the quadrants are being tested at that level four, which means you really want to work on making sure that you're balanced with every teammate and that your routines are very balanced. That's the only way to be in alignment with these governing frequencies. If you're not in alignment with these governing frequencies, the relationships you struggle with and the routines that you struggle with, that's going to tell you what quadrants of your body you're going to feel the most. All right, so let's get down here now and talk about the zoomed in 24 hour. In the zoomed in 24 hour, we align the time fields with the peaks and we set this to universal time. Now, the best thing to do is just go to our live feed on our homepage, health3connected.com. Hit play, a time bar comes up, shows you exactly where we are within the sequence. Okay. Now, in day three here, we've got a pretty light day of testing and alignments. You see 24/7 we're being tested by frequency, but alignments are when two frequencies that test the same thing come together for an amplified moment, and these lines show you how long that amplified moment is lasting. And we only have blue alignments today, which means we're only being tested on teammates today, at least from that amplified alignment perspective. Now, when we talk about teammates, this is what you got to do. You got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to coordinate. You got to be able to talk and alleviate stress with your teammates. And you have to be able to strategize with your teammates on how you're going to synchronize your routines to make sure that this world is a better place for every future participant. Now, that's what you'd have to do to be the best teammate and have the best relationship. And it shouldn't matter if they're older, younger, if they're male, if they're female. You got to master relationship with every teammate. Now, if you're struggling to get along with the younger teammates, day three is going to let you know through these three alignments here. Okay, so as the time bar is going through any of these alignments, we're all testing to see how well we get along with younger teammates. The more balanced you are as far as getting along with them in a positive way and doing all the things that we just talked about, you don't have any worries. But if you let your defensive design get in the way of this and you avoid them, or you're not talking about certain aspects of what we're supposed to be doing here, the more unbalanced your approach is with those younger teammates, the more you're going to feel it down here in your lower quadrants during these three alignments. All right, let's move down here to the position of the strongest frequencies. So there's a little bit of an imbalance today. You can see the stronger frequencies are stacking up a little bit heavier on the left side. There are three here on this one. There are three here on this one. So that's a total of 6 on the left side versus a total of 4 strong frequencies on the right side. Now, there is one quadrant that isn't got any strong frequencies. That's the right upper. So if you happen to have right upper quadrant pain in this next 24-hour period of time, we know you're struggling to get along with the older teammates. Now, in all the other quadrants, there's overlap. So when there's overlap, you just got to document when you feel what you feel, and our software can help you discern what you want to focus on first, whether you need to focus on getting along with teammates more or whether you need to balance your routine more. But the truth is, you got to do both. These graphs, though, just help you understand at an individual perspective where you would want to start to get the best results the fastest. But once you commit to your team and once you balance your routine, these graphs are not going to be necessary for you in the future. All right, so we're going to end this out as always. We've got the rest of the electromagnetics posted for 2024. No more mystery. Every individual has access to this pattern. We want to empower you so that you aren't manipulated by this pattern and you eliminate the stress that accelerates your aging and makes your life not so pleasant. Now, the more individuals that eliminate their stress, and when we get regions of individuals doing this, we're going to see a collective effect. That's what Health Reconnected is up to. We're here to create a positive collective effect. And to do that, we need your help. See you in the next 24.